Hey there, Alex here. This is the Essential phone, a device that came out over a year ago. But somehow, this is actually one of the most interesting phones around right now. Let me explain why. We kick things off with design, which in hindsight was really ahead of its time. The use of titanium and ceramic might not look or feel that different compared to aluminium and glass, but it's still really unique. Ceramic is a little more stretch resistant and titanium is a little stronger. The phone also stands out because of its angular design and smaller size, both of which I really like. Some of the smaller design details are nicely done too, like how the call speaker and notification LED have been implemented. It also has one of the better looking display notches, especially compared to the iPhone X lookalikes. The version I have here is the newer Halo Grey color with a matte finishing, and it looks incredible. I just really love this understated industrial look. Other than looking great on the outside, the hardware that the Essential phone is packing inside is pretty good as well. Good looking display with small bezels, Snapdragon 835 processor, and decent amount of storage and RAM. Sure, there are some things I wish could be better, like the use of an AMOLED screen, stereo speakers, and water resistance, but the screen still looks good, the speaker is pretty loud, and the phone feels really well built. The slightly more contentious shortcomings are probably the lack of a headphone jack and expandable storage, but those are not deal breakers for me personally. I have seen reports of poorer network strength, but in Singapore, I've not had any major issues. You might have noticed that I'm actually running Android Pie on the phone already with the new gesture navigation. This is another reason why the phone is so interesting now. Essential took everyone by surprise when they started rolling out the Android Pie update on the very first day of release. This is something normally reserved for Google-made devices like the Nexus or Pixel lineup. For the Essential phone to get the update so quickly is really impressive. With Android Pie, the phone feels pretty snappy for the most part in my day-to-day use. No surprise here since it's pretty much just stock Android. In terms of things like scrolling and the animations, it's still not quite as smooth as even the first generation Google Pixel, but overall, it's still what I would consider to be decent. No issues with gaming performance as well since we are talking about the Snapdragon 835 after all. Battery life has been pretty decent too. A full day of use is no problem at all, and sometimes I can get even more than that with lighter use, which is more than good enough for me. Overall, the software experience is definitely a highlight of the phone. Back when I first tested the Essential phone, I was a little apprehensive about how fast they would update their software, but since then, they've been pushing out updates and bug fixes consistently, so huge thumbs up for Essential here. Something else that has been improved with software updates is the camera performance. Auto HDR mode seems a lot more reliable, and the camera app itself seems smoother compared to when the phone first came out. Since the camera hardware itself is not that amazing, the improvements to image quality are pretty minor, but because of the improved reliability, it feels like a much better experience. The monochrome sensor is still really fun to play with, and there is a portrait mode now that works decently too. It's still not going to be as good as other flagship devices, but this is definitely a camera that I can live with, especially when I consider the price of the phone. Which brings us to the most important factor, price. These days, the phone typically goes for around $300 to $350 on Amazon, which I think is already a pretty good deal for a phone that does the essentials well. But I actually got mine from a sale recently at just $224. At that price, it's not just the camera, but all of the Essential phone's shortcomings becomes inconsequential. It's cheaper than even mid-range devices, but offers so much more. The hardware still holds up today, the software experience is excellent, it's getting fast and consistent software updates, and it is priced really well these days. Despite being a phone from 2017, this is now one of my favorite phones around. Thanks for watching my revisit of the Essential phone. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, and see you guys on the next one.